All right, I'm going to switch to the main camera. Okay, I'm excited for today's live piano lesson. We are starting a little late today. Usually we start at 10 o'clock every day, and today we had to start a little late because as I sat down to start doing the live YouTube piano lesson, this was not working. Don't you love technology? So I had to go through and reprogram and reset it up, and I thought, why is this not working? So we're live now, and I'm excited for today's lesson. Let me just go and double check. I'm going to look and make sure that we are live. If you can hear the audio, leave a comment, let me know. I'm just going to quickly see if you can hear audio. This. Leave a comment, let me know. Good, I can hear it on here. Okay, now for fun, I'm just going to check one thing on my iPad while we're waiting for a few more people to come on, and you can listen to Bringing Joy to the World. This is just on my iPhone, Bringing Joy. And this is a single I came out with a few years ago. It's my arrangement of Joy to the World. Listen to this while I check something on my iPad for one quick second. Let me know if you can hear that, okay? All right. Everything's looking good. We're looking okay. I think we're all set. This will be good. So, I'm going to stop that. That was just background music while I was checking things out. But that is Bringing Joy to the World. That's my arrangement of Joy to the World. Check it out. It's on Spotify. You can listen to it on any of the streaming services or platforms. But today, I'm going to use a big, thick fake book. This is a really good fake book. I will have a link below where you can actually purchase this. It's a great fake book. It has over 1,200 songs in fake book format. There are a lot of great fake books out there. You don't have to use this one. But the reason why I wanted to use this is because one of our YouTube subscribers suggested and said, can you start showing some well-known popular pieces and how you would arrange those? And of course, I would love to do that. And they had listed a few. And so the ones that I'm going to do, they had a long list. We can't do all of them today, but any videos that you would like to have me create about music theory, composition, arranging, or playing popular pieces, leave a comment on this video on my YouTube channel, and then I will go through all the different comments, and I will start doing these live video lessons for you. So the ones that he had suggested, Leaving on a Jet Plane by John Denver, which is a great one. Fly Me to the Moon, which I'm going to teach that one first, and then we'll see how many of these we can get to. Can't Help Falling in Love, of course, Elvis Presley. And then Take Me Home, Country Roads. And then he had also suggested Leaving on a Jet Plane and also Let It Be. We won't have time to do everything. He had a longer list. Those were just some of the main ones that I had selected. What I'm going to do is start with Fly Me to the Moon. Now, for Fly Me to the Moon, if you can see, and I will hold this up, that is what the fake book looks like. When you play from a fake book, you just have the right-hand melody, and then you have the chords above. So what I'm going to do is show you just the right-hand melody, and then we're going to add the chords with the left hand. Then I'm going to add the chords with the right hand below the melody, and then I'm going to start playing around with the left hand and embellishing. So let me move these books off to the side over here, and we're going to go to the overhead view. Watch what I do as I teach this. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, but let me go to the overhead view now. So this is the overhead view. What we're going to do is just play the melody as it is written. The melody to Fly Me to the Moon does this. This is just a simple melody. Again, this is just a simple melody line. Of course, that's the first ending. You can have a second ending. Now, they have chords written above. They are primarily minor 7th and major 7th chords. We have a few minor 7 flat to 5th chords. It starts with an A minor 7th chord. So if I play an A minor 7th chord with my left hand while the right hand plays the melody, then I can play the D minor 7th chord when we do the chord change. Then we go to the G 7th chord. Then we go to C major 7th. F major 7th, B minor 7 flat the 5th, E7 flat the 9th, A minor 7th. Now we're going to do an A7 flat 9. We're just going to raise that sharp right there. Go to the D minor 7th, then go to a G 9th. A G 7th looks like this. This is my G major 7th, G dominant 7th. If I have my 8th and then my 9th, it means I'm going to add that to get the G 9th right there. Then I go to a C major 7th. We're going to add the 9th right there for that. D minor 7th. Now here we're going to do an F diminished 7 slash C. So if I have my F major, F minor, F diminished, but slash C means we're going to have a C on the bottom. See that? Then we go to the C major 7th. Then we have the B minor 7th, and then an E 7th, A minor 7th, D minor 7th. I'm doing all of these chords in root position with my left hand. I don't want to make this too difficult yet. G 7th, C major 7th, F major 7th, B minor 7 flat the 5th, E7 flat the 9th, A minor 7th, A minor 7 flat the 9, D minor 7th, then we have the G 9th, and then we have the E minor 7 flat 5, okay, D minor 7th, and then we have D minor 7 slash G, where we have a G with the left hand, then we have a G7 flat 9, and then we end with a C6. Those are the basic chords. What I usually tell students when you first start off, instead of playing the 7th or the 6th or the 7th, 9th, 11th, whatever the chord is, I tell them just to play either the root or the octave interval, a 5th interval if you can't reach that. So where it says A minor 7th, just start with the A and then go to the D, then go to the G. This is a basic way to start playing. There's the C. There's the F. There's the B. There's the E7th. There's the A. D. G. There's the C. This is a very, very basic, simple arrangement. F, C, B, E, A, A, D, G, C, F, B, E, A. Remember, we're not adding 7ths, 9ths, 11ths, anything. We're just doing the root. D, G, E, A, D, okay, G, C. Very, very basic. Now we're going to build on that. Remember before we did the 7th chord with the left hand. What we're going to do now is we're going to play the melody with the pinky. The right hand is going to play the chord inverted below the melody. There's the D minor 7th chord, root, 1st, 2nd inversion. Almost all of these in this particular piece, Fly Me to the Moon, they're all 7th chords, either minor or major, with a few minor 7 flat 5s, but they're all primarily in 2nd inversion. So watch. Here, if I play this, A minor 7, root, 1st, 2nd inversion. The C is on top for the melody. Now I can roll that as a chord, D minor 7th, 2nd inversion, G 7th, 2nd inversion, C major 7th, 2nd inversion, F major 7th, B minor 7 flat the 5th, E7 flat the 9, A minor 7th, A 7th flat 9, D minor 7th, there's my G 9th, G7 flat 9, and then we go to the C major. Here I'm going to add the C with the left hand. That would complete my C major 9. And then I have my A minor 7th, D minor 7th, G 7th. Now F diminished 7th, remember, F major, F minor, F diminished. We're going to invert that chord, do the F diminished 7th, invert it because we want the F up on top. Okay, then we have the B minor 7, and all we're going to do is play this A minor 7th, D minor 7th, G 7th, C major 7th, F major 7th, B minor 7 flat 5, E7 flat 9, A minor 7, A7 flat 9, D minor 7th, G 9th, E minor 7 flat 5, D minor 7th, D minor 7 with the slash G in the left hand. There's my C6th chord in 1st inversion. Since the right hand is playing these chords inverted like this, my left hand is free to play around. I could do, from the book 100 Left Hand Patterns, I could take one of these patterns. Now, if you're playing it just a basic, simple way, you can do what we've just done. But if you want to embellish it, let's say that I came in here to one of the New Age patterns. And let's say that I want to do a simple pattern, 1, 5, 8, 9, 10, 1, 5, 8, 9, 10, 1, 5, 8, 9, 10. Just a simple pattern. So here in the New Age Contemporary Left Hand Pattern section, I'm going to do 1, 5, 8, 9, 10 right here. And instead of starting on C, we're going to start on A. We can start on D. We can start on G. I'm just doing 1, 5, 8, 9, 10. If I count A as my 1, I can count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 5, 8, 9, 10. So watch, if I start on A, then I go to D, then I go to G. See, my right hand is playing the chord and the melody. the melody on top with the pinky and the chord below. I can take my right hand up an octave. So that is one way you could play it. Now, again, I was playing the melody on top. That is all I have written out, is the melody. And then I have the chords. And I showed you what it looked like, okay? This is from a fake book. My left hand was doing a 1, 5, 8, 9, 10 left hand pattern. What if I wanted to jazz it up? See, again, I can change it however I want. If I'm doing from the 100 left hand patterns book, I'm going to take one of the left hand walking bass patterns. It's a jazz walking bass pattern. It's called a whole half left hand walking bass pattern. If I start on C, from C to D is a whole step. From D to E flat is a half step. From E flat to E natural is also a half step. So the whole half is where I take the whole step, then a half step and a half step. Doesn't matter where I start, doesn't matter where I go. I can go to F and do whole step, half step, half step. I can go to D and do whole step, half step, half step. I can go to G and do whole step, half step, half step. So in this example, Fly Me to the Moon, my left hand is going to start on A and do whole step, half step. Then I'll go to D, because that's the next chord in the chord progression, and do whole step, half step, half step. Then I'll go to G and do whole step, half step, half step. See what I'm doing with my left hand? Now, all I'm doing is I'm taking this walking bass pattern that I've created, and it's a whole half walking bass pattern. Whole step, half step, half step. My right hand is playing the melody with the pinky and the chord below, A minor 7th. Now I'm starting to swing. Before, I was doing a very lyrical pattern as I was playing. I had this very lyrical sound, almost like I'm playing at some, very high, ritzy, fancy restaurant. But here I want to get a little jazzy with my rhythmic pulses. My left hand, again, I'm just doing a whole step, half step, half step. Then I go to the next chord, D minor 7th. I'm slowing it way down so you can see what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing with my left hand. It's a whole half-half walking bass pattern. Now, I haven't started throwing in any little thrills or, I haven't wanted to really complicate things, because we could start to do, and start to throw in some fancy things and start to throw in some licks and things. And I don't want to get too technical yet. But what we are doing is trying to follow this pattern. Now, I could, if I want, I could start to do a walking bass pattern created from a 6th chord. That's another left-hand walking bass pattern that we can do. Now here I'm going to start on the A minor and just kind of break that chord apart. Whatever my chord is, I'm just breaking it apart. See how I'm breaking that down? Now my right hand, I'm changing some rhythmic qualities, okay? See how I'm changing that rhythm? Here, I'm doing kind of a left-right. And all I did a 5th. So I played the A, then I play E, which is a 5th above, and then I go to the next chord. And then I'll play a 5th above that and resolve. See that? If you just want to play the note by itself, sorry, I started throwing in some little left-hand patterns. Sometimes I get carried away. Okay, we could start to throw in different patterns. But for now, if you just learn how to play the simple Fly Me to the Moon, where you do start off with an octave with the left hand and the right hand is playing the chord below the melody, you will be leaps and bounds ahead of other musicians. If you start to take the left hand and do a 1, 5, 8, 9, 10 left hand pattern, then you can start to create this very dinner-like atmosphere. And you could start to do, scales moving up and down. If you want to start doing that whole half-half left-hand walking bass pattern, then you can start to create that jazzy feeling. And my left hand is a steady rhythmic pulse where I'm just playing quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I can keep going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I'm just doing the whole half-half wherever I go, whatever chord I am playing. Now, if you notice, with my right hand, I'm playing the chord actually on the downbeat. So the chord, I'm playing on the downbeat, and then I just play the melody as I'm moving from one to the next. Now you could, this gets a little more challenging, you could play chords I'm playing non-stop chords with my right hand. See, we're taking it to different levels as we play. Instead of just doing a rolled chord at the beginning, instead of doing just that rolled chord, we can actually start to play chords underneath. But then it gets more complicated, because then you have to start thinking, what chord qualities or colors do I want? Do I want to stick with, you know, some different sounds? And you could make it as unique or varied. I would stick with just the white keys for now, unless you're doing kind of a rise or a fall as you're coming down. But again, all that is, if I have a sixth chord right here, as an example, let's say I do a first inversion and a second inversion of a sixth chord, I can come down, okay? And the nice thing is, here I'm doing a C6 chord, root first, second inversion. Here I'm doing a C diminished seventh chord, second inversion. All that happened, my outside fingers went down half a step. My inside fingers stay where they are. And then I go to an F6 chord in root position, followed by a C6 chord in first inversion. See that? So if I'm playing a C6 chord, I can come down and move like that. I wanted to go from the C major seventh chord to the F major seventh chord. So I did a little modulation to help me kind of transfer. I'm not transposing. All I'm doing is I'm trying to connect the dots from my C major seventh chord, second inversion, to my F major seventh chord, second inversion. And so all I did, I slide to the right. I did a D right here, D minor seventh chord, second inversion. So C major seventh chord, D minor seventh chord, second inversion, D sharp, and then here we just did a G sixth, first inversion. And that helps us. The reason why I did that is because I wanted to make a smooth transition to the F major seventh, and we had the A up on top. For the F major seventh, well, guess what? That to that is a very pleasing transfer from one chord to the next. And that's all I'm doing as I'm coming down. And you can go up and down. See, sometimes I move up. Sometimes I can come down. And I'm using a lot of seventh chords and ninth chords. So you could weave in and out from one to the other, if that makes sense. Let me go back to this front view, okay? Hopefully, I tried to break it down from very, very simple, and then how we get more and more complicated as we move along. I don't want to overwhelm anyone, but you can see how even for using a fake book, and with this, again, The Ultimate Fake Book. It's a great fake book. I will have a link in the comments below where you can get this, but it's a very, very good book. It has over 1,200 songs in fake book format. There are so many fake books like this, and they're great, but you heard what I just played. That is what I am playing. It's just the right hand melody with the chords, and then the rest I was just faking. That's why it's called a fake book. I was improvising. All right. We probably don't have time to do too much. Let's see. All right. We've gone over. Usually I try to keep these 15 to 30 minutes at the most. So maybe what I will do is tomorrow, in tomorrow's live YouTube video lesson, I will do Leaving on a Jet Plane. And then we can start to just take some of these, Take Me Home Country Roads, and we can go through and do Love Me Tender, and we can do, there are so many, I mean, technically we have over 1,200 in here, and other ones that you would like to know. We can do different styles, different sounds, different, you know, if we start looking at, as an example, Can't Help Falling in Love, I'll just quickly kind of demonstrate this. Well, the right hand, is doing this. That's all the right hand is doing. Christmas. I would love to do Christmas. In my 100 Left Hand Patterns book, we have an entire Christmas section of fake songs in the fake book. We have an entire Christmas section. Jingle Bells, Jolly Old St. Nicholas, Up on the Housetop, Deck the Halls, Joy to the World, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. So I say month of November and December, let's just do Christmas songs, personally. My personal preference. Silent Night, Angels We Have Heard on High, Still, Still, Still. So we can go through and do all of these. Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella, Good King Wenceslas, Holly and the Ivy, First Noel. So RJ, that's a great comment to do Christmas. Let me actually show you. I'll quickly take maybe 5 minutes and show you how to jazz up Joy to the World as an example. Okay. So in this is the 100 Left Hand Patterns book. Here, if you look at Joy to the World, do you see how we have just the simple little melodic line, and then we have, it's in the key of C. Well, you can take that and we can start to play around with it. Let me go to the overhead view and I'll show you what I mean. Joy to the World in the key of C major. Think of the C major scale. Okay, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Well, Handel was a genius in how to incorporate the C major scale going backwards. We start at the top. If you play the C major scale going down backwards, that is what we have for Joy to the World. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, G, A, B, B, C. Now the left hand starts with a C major chord, so you can start off just playing the C octave interval or the perfect fifth interval. Anytime you have a blank measure where the chord is not written above, it means the left hand is still going to play that chord. F major, G major, C major. Now I can do the octave as well. Now again, once I learn how to do that, I can put the chord below the melody. So here, that's all I'm doing. F major, G major, C major, C major, C major first inversion, C major root position, C major second inversion, C C major, root position, G major, root position, G seventh, C major, first inversion, C major, root position, C major, second inversion, G seventh, C major. Joy to the world. Now I could take a left-hand pattern and we could just do something simple as an octave interval going back and forth. F, G, C. I could do a walking bass pattern. See how I do that? Okay, I could start to do a different left-hand pattern. Here I have a perfect fifth, major sixth, minor seventh, major sixth. So in this instance, I'm doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and these are eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See how I'm changing the rhythm with the right hand. See, I'm changing the right hand. I could go up and do a 1, 5, 8, 9, 10 simple left hand pattern. Now with my right hand, I'm keeping it very simple to begin with. Now, I'm starting to rock back and forth. I could change keys, maybe go up half a step. We could go up half step, we could go to the key of D. Now I'm starting to do octave chords with my right hand, okay? Where I'm practicing doing all of the octave chords. See, we can start to embellish. Let's see, thank you, that just made my day. Good, I'm glad. Can you help me with meshing the right with the left? Let me change the camera view, hold on. I just keep talking and then I forget to look at the comments and see, so I apologize. Can you help with meshing the right and the left? I'm still having trouble. So the right and the left hand, when you're trying to put both hands together, you have to think about which hand is going to be a specific steady pulse. So in this instance, if I'm doing like a simple walking bass, I know that my left hand is going to be doing quarter notes. So my left hand is a steady pulse. When I'm doing those eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, I'm lining up the music 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and I'm playing the right hand melody as is, and I'm lining it up musically. Now, if you start to jazz things up, then you start to change the rhythm. And that's when you almost have to feel it out. You have to say, do I want it to be? See how my right hand is changing the rhythm? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If I'm doing a simple, okay, bassing count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. In this, I actually wrote Joy to the World in 2/4 time signature. So Joy to the World, 1, 2 and a 1, 2. It's a 1 and 2 and 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 1. So you can do it as 2/4. You can also do it in 4/4. You can really change songs. You can put songs in any counting system you want. They're written and notated a specific way. If you change things, you can modify. But here, if I'm doing 1, 2, and a 1, okay, if I'm starting to count like that, then I have to think like I'm counting 1 E and a, 2 E and a. See, those are 16th notes. So if I'm doing 1 E and a, 2 E and a, okay, the 16th notes, in my mind, I'm thinking I could have eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, or I'm thinking, I'm trying to imagine how I can line everything up, and really it's just breaking down math, okay? So if I think I can have 1 and 2 and, see that, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, let's say I do that, okay, kind of a double time. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 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 1. I'm counting 16th notes with my left hand, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, but my right hand, I'm just playing exactly what is written, 1 E, sorry, I'm thinking the left hand, 1, 2 and a 1, 2 and 1, 2, 1. So I'm trying to match them up with the left and the right hand. So I usually tell people, figure out what you're trying to get rhythmically. If I'm doing quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is in 4/4 time signature. So here, 1, 2, and see how I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4 with my left hand? Doing 2/4 is going to mess me up. And the reason why this is in 2/4 is because we have 1, 2, and a 1, 2, and. So if I'm doing this with my left hand, I have to change the rhythm of my right hand. Which actually helps you when you're improvising and you want to start embellish and jazz it up. See how I'm changing the right hand completely. I'm adding some licks and I'm adding some crush notes to get kind of that feeling, that sound. We could even do a boogie woogie type feeling. See how I'm doing that boogie woogie? Now that left hand is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and And again, you have to modify. Even though this is in 2/4 time signature, if I'm doing 4/4 time signature with my left hand, I keep that as my steady rhythmic pulse, and then I change the right hand to be modified and match what the left hand is doing. Sometimes people try to change the right hand. They try to change the left hand to match the right hand, and that is going to mess people up. You need to keep the left hand steady, and then you modify the right hand to match that left hand pattern or pulse. See how I'm doing that? Does that make sense? I've changed my left hand, and since I changed my left hand, my right hand needs to be modified to match what my left hand is doing, not the other way around, because that will mess you up every time. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that helped. Let me actually show you. I have done hundreds of different variations and even more of songs like this, Christmas songs. But for me, and I'll show you what I mean, I actually have a variation that I came out with, Joy to the World. And I had started to have you listen to it right here in the beginning. Let me actually go to I'm going to, okay, let me show you this. And you can watch this, whenever you want, but this is actually bringing joy to the world. I'm going to start by learning as many Joy to the World versions as possible. You should do it, RJ. It is fun to do. It's wonderful. And you can just learn as many different arrangements and variations. Just take these left-hand patterns and try different left-hand patterns with Joy to the World. But let me show you, in my mind, because I actually came out with this single, and I call it Bringing Joy to the World, this is what it sounds like in my mind every time I play it. Even though I'm playing different arrangements and versions, I added guitars and strings, and you can watch this YouTube video. I'll share my screen and I'll show you what I mean. This is Bringing Joy to the World, and I'd love to have you watch this. So here's Bringing Joy to the World. I'll actually make this theater mode so it's bigger, but listen to this. And I'll just play a little of this. Can you hear what I'm doing there as I'm playing this? I'm in the key of D major. And I added drums, I added guitars, I added an orchestra full of strings. And this is the music video for it. But see, when I was playing, I wanted to have that sound coming through where I had this offbeat, almost syncopated sound. And I come down, I went up high, and I did a little transition from one sound to another. And you can watch this, you can go through and watch this on your own. It actually changes, and we bring in a little techno pop, and then I change keys, and I go up half a step, and then I bring in the electric guitars, just because I like adding a lot of different instruments and orchestrations. But it will go up half a step here. We go from the key of D to the key of E flat. So kind of a fun little arrangement, different variation. Let me stop this for a second. Let's see, hold on. Sorry, you can watch that on your own. So, But it's a fun, and I'll include the link to that as well. Let me stop sharing that. But it's a fun way to take Joy to the World, and I turned it into a pop sounding piece. I'll show you the overhead and show you what I mean. I just won't be playing along. I just won't be playing along with all the instruments, but I took Joy to the World and I did this little. And then I went up half a step to another key. And you see how I'm really jazzing that up and making it a pop sound. Let me go back. There is a difference between playing different sounds. And the way you play the piano in those different styles actually has quite a bit to do with the sound that is produced. Even though I was classically trained and I'm a classical musician by nature, when I'm playing a piece by Liszt or Rachmaninoff or Chopin or Beethoven, I need to play that like a classically trained musician. When I'm playing a pop piece, I cannot play pop music like a classically trained musician. Otherwise, it will sound like a classically trained musician trying to play pop. I need to modify how I play the piano to match the style and the sound. When I play blues and jazz, I need to play it like a jazz musician, not a classically trained pianist trying to play jazz and blues. I need to actually be a jazz musician. And so how you play it, the way you play it stylistically, there's a big difference in what you do and how you do it. And that brings out a difference in your playing as well. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave a comment. Let me know what else you'd like to learn. I think for the month of November and December, I'm going to focus primarily on Christmas music, just popular Christmas music. Any Christmas songs you want me to learn, leave a comment. Let me know. We will probably start by playing the songs from my Fakebook section within the 100 Left-Hand Patterns Fakebook section, and we'll just go through and play Christmas music. And it'll be fun to go through and take these Christmas songs and play around with them and have fun. Let me know what you can do. Can you do it for bluegrass? Yes, we can do it for bluegrass as well. I actually have a banjo over here, and it's fun to get the banjo style on the piano. See, in bluegrass, when you're playing bluegrass music, and there's a difference. Many times if you see a crushed note, as an example, or a grace note, they all look the same. A grace note is that tiny little note. It looks like a tiny little note, and it's in front of music. Well, a grace note means you play that first, and then you play the other notes. Well, a crushed note looks just like that, but it has a slash line through it because it's not counted. You don't count it. Well, in bluegrass and in country music, they actually started in the 70s. They started a stylistic sound, and they called it hammerings. Hammerings are notated just like blues, just like those little grace notes that you see, and just like the crushed notes. They look just like it. They're tiny little things, but the way you play it is a different stylistic sound. Let me demonstrate, and then we'll stop. So if I'm playing a grace note, okay, I will play this first. I'm playing. I'm playing one note first. A crush note is where you take two together at the same time. You play them together, and then you usually let go. So you're playing them at the same time, but you let go. That's a crush note. A hammering is where you're going to take usually many, and it's like you're hammering. You're mimicking what the guitar and the banjo are doing when they're sliding. And they will do this. And you have to do that when you're doing a blues or kind of it's more of a country blues type feel, but it's perfect with bluegrass because that is what we are doing. And because you have the bass and the banjo in bluegrass, you're going to just kind of, and if you notice what I'm doing, I'm playing G, A, B, D, but I'm taking G, A flat, B, D, and I'm actually swiping. It's a hammering. Okay, and that creates a different stylistic sound. We'll talk about that later and go over much more with that. Okay, I apologize for going over. I tend to ramble and talk, but hopefully these video lessons are helping. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you have any questions, what you would like to learn, and then every day at 10 o'clock, we're going to have, usually they're supposed to be 15 to 30 minutes. We went way over today, but every day at 10, Monday through Friday, on my YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com/Jerald Simon, you'll be able to watch all the videos. Leave a comment on the YouTube video. You can watch all of the previous videos that I have filmed. They're just under the live videos. You can look back through the history. There's even a playlist I created for past live video lessons. And every day, Monday through Friday, I'm going to be teaching just a 15 to 30-minute piano lesson, and it will be based on questions that everyone asks. Primarily, we're going to be talking about this, and so we're going to be focusing on what we're doing. In the Essential Piano Exercise course, we have so many more videos within the course. Then that goes more into detail where I actually teach every single left-hand pattern, and then I have a private Facebook lesson that I do just for the members of that course every Friday, and that is only for paid members who have purchased the course, and that is usually an hour, hour and a half. Last week I think it was almost 2, sorry. But every week we're having these lessons. So let me know what you would like to learn, and we will work on that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the comments. There have been so many great comments. I can't answer them while I'm playing, but I'll usually go back and answer and respond to all the comments. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Be happy. Do your best. I actually would love to have you guys listen to, I have a podcast every Monday. I come out with a new podcast, and the podcast is titled Music, Motivation, and More, the Positivity Podcast with Jerald Simon. You can look for my name. You can find it. It's on all of the podcast platforms. I'd love to have you listen to those. Let me know what you think. And then I want to actually finish by reading. This is my new poetry book I just came out with, Poetry That Motivates. My first poetry book is The As If Principle, but I want to read a poem from this to inspire you. I like poetry. So let me read this. It is titled, it's on page 12. It's titled The Pursuit of Happiness. And this is what it says. Be in the pursuit of happiness. Seek it every day. Look for it and long for it and live in a happy way. The pursuit of happiness is a journey. It's not a place on a map you can find. It is something you search for within your soul, an experience so profound, so simple, so kind. Find ways to make others happy each and every day. Do small acts of service. Help others on their way. We choose whether or not we pursue happiness. It's a choice we make each day. Make a place for happiness in your heart, and then make a new start so you can live each day in a happy way. So that is how I want to end it. Poem from my new poetry book. But have a great day. Thank you for watching. Be happy. Do your best. Practice what we worked on today, and I'll have a new piano lesson for you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you guys.